just about to get on the elevator here in the TV Center up to the 54th floor, a time capsule 1960s boardroom that the public rarely has been able to see, but today for doors open, it is open to the public. Toronto's first modern skyscraper was the Toronto Dominion Bank Tower here in the financial district in Toronto, Canada. And today I'm taking you inside. We are headed up to the 54th floor, and it is a rare opportunity to see a time capsule in terms of a boardroom from the 1960s. And this Toronto Dominion Bank Tower was one of the tallest skyscrapers in Toronto when it opened up back in 1967. Let's head on in and have a look at this legendary building and Marvel time capsule on the 54th floor.
Alright guys, we're gonna get cozy in here. So, this elevator is gonna take 27 seconds. I'm Isla, by the way. I'm your tour leader. Or your group leader. It's gonna take 27 seconds, makes it the second fastest elevator in Toronto. Does anyone want to guess the first? CN Tower. Yeah! Just behind the CN Tower. So your ears might pop a little. Yeah. There's gonna be 4 rooms on the 54th floor. We're gonna spend about 5 minutes in each. Some people like to talk more than others, so we'll try and make our way through.
My ears just popped. We have arrived at the 54th floor.
And we'll get you started soon. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
The floor on the 54th level here in the TV tower was actually one large tavern marble slab that was broken down into sections, and the marble was brought in from Italy.
Of importance and connected relationships with colleagues and customers. In 1967, Bob began working with East Van Road and built the tower.
Skyline. This was the Skyline. And so there was actually, the Toronto was very progressive. It was actually kind of growing up. It was being a mature city. It was getting some really significant buildings by significant architects. So it really felt, everyone felt very positive in the 60s about things actually happening in Toronto. Fine. So that there was all kinds of an idea about the growth of the city was a tremendously wonderful thing. And they had the luck to have a really significant architect. Mies van der Rohe was really probably one of the most important architects of the 20th century. He ran the Bauhaus school, he taught the Bauhaus, and the ideas from the Bauhaus side of modernism was something that was frankly new at the time. We now look at these buildings and sort of say, we're not an ordinary tower, right? But the thing is, the ideas that are embedded in this tower, the simplicity and the elegance of its design, were something that was new at the time. And so we got away from ornamentation and carving, actually think about making materials as simple as possible and elegant as possible. So these elements played through everything from urban design, how the site was set up. Because the original guys who formed the company TU, Toronto Bank and Dominion Bank, and they basically said, we want to make it all splash, and so we want to make something great. We want to build the corner King and David. I said, no, don't build the corner King and David. Don't build the tower, build it's very simple and elegant, and expresses your power that you're actually doing something that elegant. And you're not putting on top of it. You're spreading the powers around the site. You're building the plaza, American Plaza. Under the plaza will be a concourse, which is a structural path system. And all those ideas came from Mises' understanding of how cities might work. He passed away before. He was able to build 2 towers in the building. He passed away, but he still built 3 other towers because people wanted these built for having Mies and Mies came here by himself by accident. He originally started up North America to build the secret tower in New York. The secret tower was built for the Brooklyn family. They had a daughter at the time, Phyllis Lambert. And Phyllis, a young architecture student, really she saw what her dad was building and said, no, Dad, you can't build that building. That's crap. You have to hire Mies van der Rohe, the best architect in the world. They dumped it or definitely
The doors and panels here on the 54th floor are made from a solid English brown oak.
We essentially are working on projects that are all in different areas and communities.
And I don't think you can get in, but can you? So I guess this is the washroom, the ladies' washroom. And these doors are massive. They literally go from the floor to the ceiling. And so the public rarely gets to see this floor, which is literally a time capsule from the 1960s. And even employees in this building do not get access to this floor. And I do believe that is the Tavern marble from Italy. These doors are thick.
And with that, I'm going to wrap up. Great, excited. Thank you so much. Can an elevator work when Thank you so much. Have a great day. Thank you all for coming. Oh, really? Thank you. I'm Celeste. I work with the tea collection. I'm logistics and yeah. I know a lot of I can like just riff a little bit, so. Yeah. Alrighty, thank you so much.
This boardroom here, the table
You're welcome. Thank you very much.
is made of solid English brown oak, and the table is 36 feet in length. It was brought into the building
This used to be a TD boardroom for the board meeting.
via a crane and hoisted up to the 54th floor here, and was brought through an open window. In fact, the glass on the window was put in after this brown oak wood was placed inside of the building. And this massive boardroom table a lot of important decisions affecting the TD Bank were made here, and there is an emergency button under the table in the event that security would need to be called. And I'm going to check the bottom of this end of the table. Oh yeah, there's definitely some buttons there. And the way the table looks, I don't know if this shows up well, but the table, as you can see, the table curves.
Of course, he had to go to Italy to select the cures specifically and brought them to Toronto. And personally,
Let's have a look under this table. I'm quite curious about the buttons under this table.
the design was actually defined by specific sliding
I
panels.
have no idea what these buttons are about.
Close the space totally to have a single phone if they have private conversations.
And because of the rain that is happening today in Toronto, it is very difficult to see out the window, but I am facing north.
So some people say it was brought up by helicopter. It was not. It was brought by a crane. It was brought This came in few pieces, so that didn't explode. Wasn't brought.
And what a massive table here in the boardroom. Let's have a look at that clock there on the far wall.
These 32 chairs that are around this table are very unique. They are designed by an architect
I'm gonna make my way
they call it Boardroom chairs, and they were designed in 1929, so they are almost 100 years old.
to the east side of the 54th floor here. Perhaps these are buttons. I don't know what their purpose is. But again, this floor is a time capsule. And looks almost identical to what it looked like in 1967 when the TD Tower opened.
The next bank to respond was the Bank of Montreal with First Canadian Place, which again, with use our imagination, is right
And
there.
as you can see, the
Across the street.
English brown oak used as
About First Canadian Place,
wall panels as well as the door and the wooden table in the grand boardroom. Here is some old pictures.
had that record since the 1970s, which is remarkable considering all the construction that we have here in Toronto, all the condo towers, all of the high-rises going up over the last 20 years. No one yet has beaten it. I believe the two buildings at Yonge and Bloor will be taller when they're finished, but for now, First Canadian Place is just clinging onto that record of tallest building in Canada. The last, well, not the last, but one of the most conspicuous final additions to the skyline of this bank wall is Scotia Plaza. Again.
There's a picture of them building
terracotta in color.
this legendary first of its kind modern skyscraper here in Toronto.
And that sort of, for a brief time, concluded the sort of skyscraper boom in Toronto.
And the TD Center was one of
CIBC, Bank of Montreal, and Scotiabank,
the original
facing off against each other with their own
pair of skyscrapers
which is quite funny because
made of black steel
there is
and glass.
building to the south of us here, the Royal Bank Plaza. If you're down by Union Station next time, the thing to check out about that building is the windows. When you look up at it, they look like they're gold. It's a golden color. What's crazy is it's the actual gold in that glass that is making that color. It's worked into the glazing, and it's there maybe as a show of strength for the bank, but it's also apparently a great way to mitigate heat within the building. It's used as a reflective to keep the heat of the sun out of the offices and save them some money on HVAC. It's being warm, which is absolutely crazy. So like I said, this is actually one of the few interior spaces that has completely changed since the building. So the next space we're going to see is the boardroom. And that is
writing into Alan Lambert and essentially challenging the decision and asking about it. And Alan Lambert's response was, art creates conversation, which actually has stayed as our motto for the collection itself today. And I do have a quote that I brought with me from Alan Lambert in his response to Mies van der Rohe when he was writing about the suggestion of those international artists. And so Alan Lambert responded, the value of formal production is not
So that was definitely very interesting. I'm going to head back down. Thank you so much for joining me on this walkthrough at the TD Center Bank here in the financial district. Very interesting. Thanks for watching.